My name is Justin Mall. I'm with Pyxis Technologies, and today I'll be talking about chassis cooling. So let me ask, how many of you in this room, raise your hand or scream out, how many of you have heard of Rittal? Any of you remember Rittal from the old days? Rittal Caparel? Okay, so Pyxis is basically the embedded division of Rittal. A lot of the same management came from Caparel and are now with Pyxis. So just a little clarification so you're a little more familiar with Pyxis. So again, it's a lot of the chassis platforms, components, those type of products. So this is how I felt this morning. I don't know about the rest of you. My room is about 2 doors away over there. And about 5 a.m., all the crack staff here, I don't know if they were trying to juggle every dish in the place or what they were doing, but it was an hour long of clanking and clamoring. So I was feeling quite like this. Actually, I think I met this guy last night. I think he sells insurance on the side or something. He's a nice guy. But today I'll be talking about the voodoo of chassis cooling. And sometimes it does seem like it's voodoo. Particularly some of the OpenVPX platforms, some of the processors are very high power. And you always have there'll be one board that's 110 watts or maybe more, and the rest will be 25, 30 watts. But you still have to cool that one board. Or you'll have an application where you have a whole bunch of power that you have to cool. So it could get very challenging. Today I'll talk more on air-cooled versus conduction-cooled, which is a whole nother subject. We're talking about getting rid of the S's in your ITEM. Now, you guys know what the ITEM is? Anybody figure it out? System. I must have the advanced class today. So in this type of application, is very common. It will work in most cases. You have the fans in the rear of the chassis, and it's pulling air essentially from the bottom, and it has to do 2 90-degree turns. So it's pulling through the front. It has to turn 90 degrees, go up through the cards, and then another 90-degree turn and go out the back. So that's why I'm talking about the S shape of the airflow path, okay? So again, this works in a lot of applications, but it's certainly less efficient. You're taxing your fans a lot more. They're having to work harder, it's less reliable. You might require more space. Oops. Sometimes there's issues with if there are RTMs in there, you have to make provisions for the RTMs. So it's not always the most efficient approach, particularly if you have a very high power application. One thing that we can do is take out one of the bends of the path. And we do that with having a reverse impeller blower directly above the card cage. So with the fans directly above, you essentially have one bend, and then it goes directly up into the fan, and the hot air gets blown out the back of the chassis. So it's a lot more efficient approach. Actually, we're borrowing this concept from advanced TCA. So it's actually not that exact advanced TCA chassis, but that type of chassis was very successful design, over 15,000 global installs of that approach with these intelligent hot swappable fans. So each fan can be individually hot swapped, and can send a remote signal out if there's some type of issue. You have a shelf manager, there's a problem with a fan, it'll talk to the shelf manager, send the signal out to a technician, hey, dude, come fix me, quick. I'm getting, one of my fans is out. Wouldn't it be funny actually if it said, dude, come fix me, hurry? You have 72 hours. Actually, with in the advanced TCA system, the other fan would crank up higher speed and cool the whole system for 72 hours. Certainly plenty of time to get it swapped out. Again, those were for 48-volt advanced TCA systems. Now for your card type of applications, for VPX and other type of applications, they're now 12-volt fans. So actually, the information on here is a little bit old. There's now a Recool 5 that just came out that's the same size. It's also a 12-volt, intelligent, hot swappable, but it's 200 CFM. And static pressure is 3.2 inches of water. So very powerful fan. And, you know, I really wondered if you were to attach wings to one of these things, if it would be able to take off. The fan in the latest advanced TCA chassis is actually 576 CFM. Now that is for you know, the 400 watt advanced TCA systems, some of those that are 400 watts per slot, 400 watts per slot. 4 of those fans inside an advanced TCA chassis. So you have almost 3,000 CFM or something like that, ridiculous, inside the chassis, and actually wonder if it would fly. So basically that's the approach. It's not used for all types of applications, but when you have very demanding thermal challenges, the reverse impeller approach can help solve some of those most challenging problems.